Hi everybody and welcome to another Her Talk with Tai Vicari. I am your host Tai Vicari and I have an amazing show this evening. I have three spectacular human beings that are living on Long Island, breathing on Long Island, but expanding through the world, and tonight is their night that they get to talk to you about what they do. First we're going to have Patricia, Poggi, and then we're going to have Grumbley, and after that our finale will be with Julia Johnson. Each one has a unique, job, we'll say, that will help you out as individuals with expanding who you are to the universe. So I would like to welcome to the show Patricia. Hi Patricia, how are you?
I'm good, Tai. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, and for the opportunity.
Oh, I'm excited because you have an exciting story. I mean, first off, you're a mom, which I love.
Yes.
All right, and I love when moms, you know, they're not like held down to that, you know, we have that thing where people say that, okay, this is what we do, and you know, you got to take care of the kids and this and that, and you were taking care of your children, and now you're an inspiration to your children. Please tell us a little bit about your story right now.
Okay, so July of 2013, my middle son, Jeremy, he is an absolute athlete, and he was on hockey, lacrosse, and I was always, you know, running the kids everywhere. And I lost a part of me, you know. I lost just that race, that rugged race, trying to keep up with everything. And I would look at him and be like, wow, this kid is, you know, doing all these things, and look at mom not taking care of herself. So that's how I kind of got started. And at 300 pounds, it was a struggle. I never was a sitter on the couch or anything, but I wasn't genuinely taking care of myself at that point. So I started with walks around the block. I started on We Fit, and then that led into gym memberships, and then meeting a great fitness community of people that have helped me, which then led into a spiritual community of working on your mindset, and my family and my friends like just supporting me. And then I, you know, found all this support everywhere, and I thought it was, wow, I have these people supporting me, and now I can support them. They're constantly asking me how I got where I was.
So let's take it back a little bit then. So, you know, I'm a mom,
yes,
and I have two amazing kids, and of course they're amazing to me. They might be a pain to someone else, no.
Right, of course.
but they're great kids,
yes.
And I at one point was juggling everything like a lot of moms do, and especially in our society today, a lot of moms do. We have, you know, work-life balance, and sometimes the scales are tipping in one direction, and there's no even, you know, even playing ground for anything. So, right. And I'm one of those people that, you know, yeah, I work a lot, and you know, I have a day job.
Right, right, yes.
And so it gets ahead of us sometimes, and we don't take care of ourselves because we're too busy taking care of everything else that we forget the first and foremost
right.
person in our lives, which is ourselves. What do they say? Anyone else?
Correct.
So how did it start? Because, you know, a lot of moms out there that are, you know, they have little ones, or they forgot who they were.
Right, I know, and
So
that's
how
what
did it
I...
start with you? Like, when did you...
At that point, my middle son was 8, and I had, I guess my older son was 11, so I guess they were 11, 8, and 3. So, yeah, that's how old they were, and that's the race I was, you know, running around. It's a struggle. It is. So your question was again?
My question was, you know, when you first started, you had your stuff together,
right?
Correct?
Yes.
We all do. When we first start out, you know, for the most part, most moms, you know, you're having your child. You know, you have the first child. We'll go to child 1.
Yes.
Child 1, you're a nut.
Right.
Every mom is a nut.
Yeah.
Child 2, it's like that Pampers commercial.
Yes.
Child 2, it's like whatever. Here, the pinky's on the floor. Just put it in your mouth. You know.
Yes.
So,
and the third one raises himself.
Yeah, third one is like, I had a third one? No.
Yeah.
So, but what do? We don't take care of ourselves.
Right, but would you not take care of your child? Would you not give your child proper nutrition? Would you tell your child you can't walk? No, don't walk. But we'll tell ourselves that all day long, what we can't do. But we would never tell our child, no, you can't do that. But why is it okay to tell ourselves? You know?
Yeah, were you dealing with any depression issues? Because I know that there are some moms out there that their decline happens when they just had a baby, and it may not be the first one, it could be the second or the third one where they go through postpartum, but it's not identified as such.
Correct.
And so it starts a trickle effect on their mental state, which they'll put on weight, and it's just from not eating right, or sometimes depression puts on weight.
Right.
So you have ways that you can help those individuals. Is that accurate?
I sure could. I mean, everything comes down to self-care and mindset. I don't know that I ever had, per se, depression. I just know that I lost my authentic self, and I lost who I was, I believe. And it's a constant struggle, because you're like, oh, how can I go out and go to this when I need to be home for the kids, or I need to get to a hockey game, or a basketball game, It's a constant struggle of that. But what has helped me now is that I know if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of the children.
So
and I feel better in that way.
So you lost 300 pounds.
No, wait.
No. Okay, wait. Let's rephrase it. I was like, so you were 300 pounds.
Yes, that was my highest. And
Okay.
let me tell you, though, I will, you never forget, and you still sometimes carry yourself as that person. And it is still a mindset struggle that you have to use all your tools in your toolbox. Yes, I was, and I am no longer, but I don't forget what got me to where I am. And that it's still, my biggest motto is losing the weight is hard, maintaining the weight loss is hard. For some people, gaining weight is hard, but you gotta just keep doing your work, and doing your work, and doing your work.
So what are some things that a person can do that are easy things? Because you know how some people are like, oh, it's just so hard, it's just so difficult. It's
right.
Like, my friends and I, we try, and I've just recently started trying. I would say I'm a month in, and I've only lost 3 pounds.
But that's okay.
And I'm like, yeah.
But is that 3 pounds? I
but
did
three
do
official pounds.
Yes.
I say 3 official pounds because I haven't gained them back. So every week I'm losing a pound.
Right.
So it's 3 official pounds.
Yeah.
So, what I started out with is, and my friends and I, we just, one day, we did do that. We were just like, you know what, I think it's time. And I'm like, I am on TV, I think it's time. and so we started doing this, and we're holding each other accountable.
And that's helping.
Yes,
the
it helps.
support is huge.
It helps.
And by the way, I did not follow Weight Watchers, but I will tell you that I did learn in my many attempts on Weight Watchers and other such programs that 3 pounds is 12 butter sticks. So
wow.
3 times 4. So if you visually think of that, it's not just 3 pounds, it is 3 pounds. I lost 3 pounds. So you have to change that thinking, I'm telling you. Changing that thinking pattern is so huge in anything and everything we do. It's so easy to tell myself, I have loose skin. I am still heavy. I am this. No, I don't. I tell myself the other way. I am empowered. I am strong. I am beautiful. You have to think that way. You have to write it. You have to see it, believe it, speak it until you believe it. Because you are a beautiful, strong woman, and so am I, and so is everybody else. And a man, too. Everybody.
Walk me through your day. Walk me through a typical day of Trish.
Well, it depends. I do generally get up in the 3 o'clock hour because I'm at the gym at 4. Now,
wow.
That has been for about 2 years or so. I have found a lot of comfort, like I said, in the fitness community. A lot of great morning people. Good morning, good morning. I know they're watching, like, hey, were you here? Oh, I didn't see ya. That accountability to me is so huge because if you're at the gym that early, you're there because you're there to work.
Yes.
You're not there, to really make friends, but at the same time, I have formed my fitness family that I'm so thankful for. I've met a lot of great people that have inspired me. So back to your question, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up with an open heart. I push out all negativity, and both feet have to stomp on the ground, and I say thank you for this day. I get up, I journal, I pray, get my pre-workout, my protein shake, my water, and I'm out the door. I work out for about an hour and a half. I have to be home by about 6:15 because the kids' bus is at 6:30. Then my other little guy's bus is at 8:40. I work at Starbucks and I am a crossing guard. So I usually have one of those jobs to go to as well. And then I come home and do, my kid routine. Not always do I do my dinner stuff. I do get a lot of help, so I'm very thankful for that. And then, I've been working on building this business. So I'm very excited about that.
So explain to me a little bit about your business.
I decided to start these weight loss maintenance support groups in my home. It's called EJP Inspirations. Every journey's possible. And it's driven by my children, Edward, Jeremy, Patrick. I offer in my home to come. I do a certain layout of all the bits and pieces of things that have helped me to be where I am, and I offer it and help it to others.
So how can someone get involved? And when they do get involved, like what are you going to do with them? Like, you don't have to tell me exactly.
Right.
We're not going to give the secret to your sauce.
No.
But just walk me through something that is a typical, session with you.
Sure. So I'm big into like the support system. The support system to me is huge. So if you come in, you're picking up a word and you are describing, you're picking up a word, you have a packet, you fill out the packet. It's kind of like an icebreaker thing I do. And then once everybody gets in and settled, I do a meditation. I introduce myself. We go around and we talk. I have a no drama policy and a confidentiality policy because we are all here for a reason. I don't care who you are, thick, thin, black, white, what your sexuality, nationality is, anything. You're a human and you're here because you want help. And that to me, like I say all the time, I see my life like Sesame Street. I think we all want to be honored, respected. So we share. I mean, some people have, things that I've never even been through, We share what our goal is, what we want to accomplish, whether it's, you want to lose 5 pounds or you want to lose 100 pounds, that's your personal goal. So you write that down, and by your next meeting, you bring it back. And once you accomplish your small goal, it's like another check off the list. And then I have a guest speaker that comes in, somebody who is, in the fitness, wellness industry, that does a little 10-minute, I ask for 10 minutes for them to come speak to my group about anything. There's such a broad, different interests in anything. You don't have to go to a gym, One of my girls loved swimming. That was her thing. She loved swimming. Somebody else loves dancing. It doesn't matter what it is. It's whatever is you. It doesn't matter if you're on Weight Watchers, if you're on keto, if you're on Nutrisystem or Jenny Craig. You know what? It's okay. We're all in this together. You can follow whatever program you want, and that's what I'm trying to get out there, is that we're all in this together, and with the support, we can do anything.
So how often do you meet with your groups?
Right now I'm doing once a month in my home, but I am trying to get out there. I would love to get into gyms and be like, hey, Tai, I saw you in support. Now let's go walk on the treadmill together, because it's like now us holding each other accountable. But you said you were going to, bench press with me last week. Well, let's get going, girl.
That's a couple of months down the line.
Right. But you know what I mean? It's holding each other accountable. And you now have support, and now like kind of how you have a workout class. You need a support class. And I think getting like a Weight Watchers type thing or motivation support group and bringing that to a gym or to a doctor's office or to somebody that just needs it and doesn't think they can do it and just needs a place to start. I get asked that so much. Well, how do I start? Well, what do I do? Just do. Just do. Take a walk around the block. Just do. Drink a bottle of water a week. Just do it. You'll feel so much good once you did one little thing. Because then next week you're like, oh, and now I can walk around the block twice,
I do know. It's taking that first step. The first step is usually the hardest in anything that you do.
Right.
So and having a support group like yours will help people do that first step, and then the 10th and the 20th, and then unlimited.
Yes.
So there's unlimited potential with being in your group.
Right.
For
absolutely.
individuals. And I'm going to point to these signs that we have here, and because I love them, and I know that you have them up in your home.
Yes, they're in my meetings.
And they're inspirational. Kindness is always free. Wake up and be happy. Let yourself be yourself. Hello, sunshine. I love hello, sunshine. My best friends and I call each other every single day.
Right.
And the first thing we say, depending on who calls who first, is hello, sunshine. And then, like, if it's raining out, I'm like, hello, sunshine, so you brought the rain.
That might be the one that I need to leave you with. My friend Melissa got me it, but...
So, no, it's yours, it's yours. And then life is my favorite adventure. I love that saying because to me, it stands true. Life is my favorite adventure. I embrace life. I am the crazy lunatic that if you were like, hey, Tai, we're going to jump out of a plane tomorrow, I would be like, okay.
Right. Let's do it. Right.
So, I am definitely that person that would that embraces life and feels that it is my favorite adventure. I've done so many things in my time, and I'm sure that you're doing a lot of things now, and you will be doing even more because you're going to take this. I can feel it. You're going to take this to an entirely different level.
Thank you.
You're starting out here, but you're going to end up someplace that is amazing.
Thank you.
And so tell me a couple of your inspirations.
Of
why what is your drive? Like, we all have that in the back of our head, that voice that says you can do this. Like my you can do this was, believe it or not, my father's voice is that voice that's always in my head that's saying, you got this. Right. Don't worry. And my father passed away 13 years ago, but he was my cheerleader. He was my best friend, and he's always that person
so important
that's in the back of my head saying, my Jiminy Cricket, voice is that voice. So who is your voice in your head?
My mom. I am a food addict, and I know we just spoke about that life sign. My mom passed away when I was 3 and 8 months. I didn't want to cry.
No, that's okay.
But she is my driving force because she died at 30. And how dare you don't live your life. Sorry. I did want to get through this without crying.
No, it's important. I understand.
But I came up with this whole thing, life cereal. My earliest memory, Tony Robbins says, what is your earliest memory? So my earliest memory was that my mom made me eat my soggy life. Okay, I was on my second cardio at the gym, and I was listening to this, and I thought about that. That's really one of the memories I have of my mom, and it was my earliest memory. She made me eat my soggy cereal. And I was like, oh my God, I ate my whole entire life away. And I said, how dare I not live my life now? Life, life, life. Live in fear every day or live in... Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You have two choices. You can live in fear every day or live in fullness every day. And I choose to live in fullness because my mom did not have that opportunity. And at 30 years old, and I'm 41, and I have this opportunity. So why not live the life that she didn't get to live? So that's why that word life, I'm sorry. So my mom.
Absolutely, and it's good to have that.
Sorry.
That you know what? Don't be sorry. Never be sorry for your emotions. That's something that I tell people all the time. Never be sorry for that.
Many years I put my emotions into that food, so, and it never goes away.
Well,
sorry.
We're gonna wrap things up with this segment. Is there anything that you would like to tell our audience right now?
Yes. As I wipe my tears away, I would like to tell you that I have a YouTube channel, EJP Inspirations. I have an Instagram, EJP Inspirations. I am looking to help you. It's not about me, it's about we. It's about us together, coming together as a community to support one another. We all have our struggles, we all have our pain, and together we could be great. And I would like to help you and help you help me, help you.
Thank you so much,
thank you,
Trish.
Tai, so much.
And thank you guys all for watching Trish, and don't forget to follow her on YouTube, on Instagram, and we'll be right back with Brick Grumbley in just a few, so stick around. All right, Britt. All right.
Try.
Hi, and we're back with Her Talk with Tai Vicari. I am so honored to have with me today Brick Grumbley.
Yes.
And Brick is going to be talking to us about what he's doing with entrepreneurship. I'm saying it wrong because my words are like twisting. And he's also going to be talking to us about, just what it is that he's doing and how you can be a part of that. So welcome, Brick. How are you?
Good, fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So tell me, well, first off, I was excited to find out that you tried out for the NFL.
Well, I tried out for the New York Jets, but an injury, but it was all good.
So the New York Jets, so you're athletic.
Yes.
So you go in line with this mind and body and spirit type mentality.
I more go into passion and desire.
All right. So what is it that you do?
Well, right now what I do, I'm just trying to inspire people to become their best. Make each day your masterpiece. If today is the last day that you see me, I need to show you my best. And we need to have that thing where we stand on dignity, morals, respect. Somewhere along the way, we've lost that. But for me, that's what I'm trying to bring back. Because when every kid that you see out on the street, one day, if you don't nurture them and treat them the correct way, they'll become the bitter man, the bitter woman. But look at kids as a mold of clay. And as long as you keep your hand on them, you can mold them and shape them in the way that you want them to be. But if you take your hands off of the clay and you allow that wheel to spin, guess what? That wheel, the clay gets a little hard. But when you have a kid, you have to constantly keep your hand on the post. So my thing is, I try to keep my hand on the post. It's not every kid that I see I'm trying to reach. Every adult that I see that's bitter, I'm trying to make them smile. But the only way I can make them become their best, I have to become my best. So, the physical structure is one thing. So you have a lot of people who look good, but where's the substance? Where's the depth? Where's the passion? So my thing is, I try to wake up every morning and put a smile on my face, and if it is the last day you see me, I need to be smiling. I need you to feel what I'm feeling. I don't want you to walk away sad. I don't want you to walk away saying that you can't do anything. Because if you find your passion, you find what you love, you can become good at it.
So is there any stories that you would like to share with us of someone that, or a child or even an adult that you have helped where they were just, out of sorts, or maybe they were going down the wrong path and you helped them to find their full potential and their passion?
Well, I was coaching for a couple of years at my high school. And it was this young kid named Juan Thomas, and a couple of times he came to football practice and he was drunk. And I was like, Juan, why are you coming to practice and you're drunk? I'm going through this, I'm going through that. So all the other coaches was like saying, you know what, I don't want to deal with this kid. He's nothing but trouble. But I wouldn't walk away from him. I held his hand. And when he came in and he was drunk, that was the day that I worked him his hardest. That was the day that I stayed on him. And when I would see him on the street where he was in the wrong place, that would be the day that I would go get him. And it was one night I remember where Juan was doing something, and it was a place that was called Jones Disco. And I'm like, Juan, what are you doing at Jones Disco? He said, I'm just hanging out. So I picked him up, and we went to the football field. So we went running, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, we were doing dips. And I told Juan, I said, well, I'm going to do this with you because I want to go through the pain with you to show you how much I love you. So, but some years later, down the road when I would come home and Juan he was in the Army at that time. And he said, Mr. B, I want to thank you. I said, why do you want to thank me? He said, I am that man today. I am this man today because of you. You didn't give up on me. And at that point in time, I realized it's like, it's not always about beating a person. But when you can give a person a part of you and make them become better, of all the trophies that I ever won, that was the best trophy that I got.
Absolutely. You were the one.
Yeah.
That one person that needed. And, you know, I often feel that, you know, I'm a very, like, I believe in, you know, a higher power. And I always feel that we have a purpose in life. And even if we're the one for one person in our entire lives to make that difference, because you never know what that person is meant to be. And they just needed you to be that intercessor.
Yes.
So that is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
So is there any challenges that you see today in our youth? Because I know that I grew up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So I don't hide this from anyone. I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn, and I tell people all the time that there was always those certain people that were around that told me, hey, stop doing that. Or, you know, I call them the bench warmers in the front of the building. All right. Because I'm going to tell your father. And I'd be like, what? You know, but, you know, you have those, you know, but you did. I had a few people in my life that were just like, okay, you're going this way, but you need to get back on track, you know. I could have turned out to be anything, you know, and statistically, I should have been pregnant by the time I was 16. You know, if we go statistically as to where I grew up from, that was the normal thing for girls. Okay. In my neighborhood growing up. So, but I had, like I said, I had a couple of people, and you're like that one person that goes out there and you're going to help that person like you helped Juan. Yeah. So are there any programs that you're going to initiate or that you have that you're going to, you know, have young people or any individual for that matter come to?
Well, right now, I'm just kind of affiliated with a bunch of different programs. There's a program called Heaven. There's a program called Friday Night Live that me and a couple of guys used to do, but right now we're not doing it. I feel right now that we have so many different organizations that's out there, but we have a whole bunch of brush fires. We have a little fire over there, a little fire over here, a little fire over there. But with all these little fires, we're doing good things, but I want to make it an inferno. So a leader a leader who's walking by himself really is nobody. He's lost. But a leader with a multitude of people can create so many changes. So when I do the thing with, and I'm involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I do Big Brothers Big Sisters. But when I was doing Big Brothers Big Sisters, I was talking to one of the CEOs and one of the managers that we had about 30 kids we had 30 kids in one of the ones in Hempstead, but we didn't have no big brothers. I mean, you have a lot of women who are stepping up, but you know, the men's are not stepping up. But it was 30 kids that was there, and I was telling them, I said, well, can I just go out there and just get the 30 kids and we can work together? Then it's like, well, we can't do that because with Big Brothers Big Sisters, it's always supposed to be a one-on-one. So I said, but as a metaphor, if we have a whole bunch of kids on an island and they're stranded, I said, and you have a boat that can take 10, but because of your program that said, oh, well, we can only take one, so we're going to take one of the kids off the island, we're going to leave the other 9 there, and we're going to do it one by one, or do you go out there and save them all? And she was like, well, we can't do that, but you know what? You need to do things on your own. So I said, well, okay. So she gave me the rings, like, well, Britt, don't let this stop you. If you want to get those 30 kids, you go get those 30 kids and you take them to the park, you take them to the football field, y'all do things together. So here's me and another guy who I know, Brother Lee. We sometimes will do that. And well, with him, he's one of those guys who will always teaching basketball. So for me, as I work with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, as I worked with the Heaven program before, I had the Friday Night Live, and then just me being who I am. You know, you're seeing a bunch of kids in the street, or you're seeing them playing basketball, playing football, or running. You get out there, you run with them, you talk with them. And a lot of things, what we do, we always yelling. Yelling is not a good thing.
No.
Because guess what? They're so used to people yelling. But sometimes it's just good to talk. Sometimes a gentle touch is better than a strong touch any day. Because they're not used to that. And the key thing, if you start staying consistent with the kids, and I remember some of the kids from Friday Night Live where they used to get angry, they used to yell, they used to curse. But no matter how they yell, how they curse, or what they say, you stay even. And sometimes the kids say, "You must be crazy, he don't get mad." But you do whatever it takes to calm them down. And we was meeting that one day, we met 4 times a month, every Friday. And after about 2 years, those same kids that was yelling and cursing, those kids start changing. And Brother Lee said, "Man, we made a difference with 1 day a week." He said, "Imagine what we could do if we could do this like 3 or 4 days a week." So consistency is the key to get us to that next level. Because if we're not consistent, it doesn't mean nothing. If today you saw me and I'm nice and I'm kind and I'm polite, but the next 5 days I'm all mean and I'm nasty, who's going to listen to me?
Absolutely.
But if every day I'm coming the same way, I'm treating you the same way, I'm giving you that same smile, and I know people always say to me, "Why are you always so positive?" I said, because everybody can be negative. And I'm one of those people where if it's a billion people before me, and all billion of them are doing something, but if I feel that they are wrong, I'm okay being by myself if I feel I'm right. So I don't worry about fitting in with people. But if you stay who you are long enough, and if you're standing on some integrity and some dignity and faith, people will see your true color.
Absolutely.
And they'll understand who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's next in Brick's world? Like, I know that, you wake up every morning, but are you still with the Boys and Girls Club?
Well,
or
I still do stuff with them. Every once in a while, they'll reach out to me for Military Week. I'll do that. And if they have any programs going on, I'll do that.
Were you in the military?
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
Most people think that I was in the military, but no.
Well, usually when you see a physically fit person, you're like, they're either exercising all the time or they were in the military.
Yeah. But for me, is where I look at myself as a metaphor, as a lighthouse. So today was that day where I took that rock and I threw it into that pond. And all of a sudden, the ripples start spreading. So yesterday you didn't know me.
No, I did not.
But today you do.
Yes.
So whoever's seeing me will see, say, well, I never knew this guy. And I had no idea who he was, but it's something about him that was interesting. So as a lighthouse, before I was a 5-watt bulb, but today I'm a 10-watt bulb. You give me a little bit more time, I'm going to turn it into a 30-watt bulb. So you may know me in Nassau County and Suffolk County, but eventually they'll know me in New Jersey. But each and every day, I got to wake up and give the world the best of me. And the only way that I do that, I got to be personable. Every person that I meet got to feel who I am. Because if I let you walk away from me and you don't feel who I am and you don't feel my passion, my sincerity, then I didn't do my job. So what I do at the end of every day, I go home and I do an analysis on myself. I said, what could I have done that would have been better? And I'm one of doesn't matter what I do, I'm always trying to do better. If I go to the gym, it's like every day that I'm trying to push myself to that next level. Every day that I see somebody who's upset, my thing is that, well, how can I turn that frown into a smile? You know, it's like I'm rubber and you glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
Yes.
You know, that was an old saying from Pee Wee Herman. But it was those little things that I done, or the little things that I see. I take a piece of everybody, and it makes me. But I take the best of everybody. But at the end of the day, I have to learn how to unplug. And then once I unplug, I go home and I fill myself back up, because when I go out into the world, there's lions and tigers and bears out there.
Absolutely.
You know,
well, it's the world.
It's the jungle.
Yeah.
You know, so I used to like to use metaphors, because like when I tell kids, when you're living with your mom and your dad, you're walking into the park. But when you go out there and into that world, that's the lions and tigers and bears, and they'll eat you alive if you're not prepared the correct way.
So is there anything that you would like to say to the audience before we end the segment?
Well, I would like to say to the audience, you wake up every day and give life your best shot. And even when you feel that is no hope, where there's life, there's hope. Where there's hope, there's redemption. Where there's redemption, there's a second chance at life. So whatever it is, you give life your best shot, and don't ever give up, and don't ever give in, because tomorrow is yours.
Thank you so much, Brick. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. And I look forward to hearing more about you in the future. And thank you guys for watching and listening to Brick. And stick around, because we will be back in a few minutes. And we have Julia Johnson coming on, and we're going to find out what her passion is and what's driving her to come into the chair next to me on Her Talk with Tai Vicari. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi everyone, we're back with Her Talk with Tai Vicari, and I am so honored to have next to me Julia Johnson. She is the, I guess, would you say you're the owner? Well, welcome, Julia. First off, I'm going to say welcome.
Thanks, Tai. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. So you have a company.
Yes.
All right.
Which still feels weird to say, but I do. I have a company now.
You have a company. You are an entrepreneur.
I am.
So you did. So, and what's exciting is that your company is called Inventing Self.
It is.
And Inventing Self, tell me about it. What is it about?
So Inventing Self is designed to help people connect to who they are and what they'd like to do with this experience of being alive and what's going to bring them happiness.
And that seems to be the theme today.
I was going to say, and it's like so
Yes.
perfect because just like repeat the last two guests, and I'll just take the mic off and go sit down.
No. You are
But we're all doing
passionate
the
about
same
what
work,
you do.
right? And you said something really poignant about the fact that we're all connected, and you could feel that energy tonight, that we're all doing the same work. So it's
Yes,
beautiful.
and it's weird when I don't know if you felt this way, but when I came in, today, I'm always excited to see the producers and the crew behind the scenes that I thank so much for, helping me with, this show. But then when you ladies and gentlemen came in, and all of a sudden it was like the vibe in the room.
energy, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it was dynamic.
Absolutely.
It really
we all
was.
felt it. It's so cool because behind the camera we're all encouraging each other, like, you're awesome, no, you've got this. And it's this great climate and culture that you've created that allows that space to exist. So
Thank
that's
you.
fantastic.
So tell me about Inventing Self. Like, why did you do it? Like, why did you start this?
Yeah, so I didn't do it intentionally. And what I started to realize is that many of us have a non-linear path to success. And yet we're still projecting outward into the world, starting at a very young age, starting in education, that the path to success is very linear and that there's decisions that we make that are finite and everybody knows what they're going to do, and at a certain point you become successful and all of the fears and insecurities and weaknesses that you have just dissipate immediately and you know exactly what you're meant to be doing. And yet when you find people who are honest and brave enough to share their true story of what success really looks like, we know that it's not that. So to answer your question of how this began to evolve, it started for the world of education. There is a full curriculum for kindergarten through college that's interdisciplinary in nature, a year worth of curriculum to help students address who are you, what would you like to get out of this experience of being alive, and to show what the honest, true side of success is, that which unites us as human beings, for us to give ourselves permission to bear our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, and recognize that within that there's great strength. What we didn't anticipate is that there was going to also be a calling for that in the corporate field and from individuals. So we also offer training for corporations and life coaching for individuals.
So how old do you have to be a part of your program? Does it really matter? I mean, I know that you have all ages and that you are there to guide individuals on finding what their passion is, and that can be hard.
Very.
That
Still figuring it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think about that, like, find your passion, and I am like, and I'm going to bring back this sign, life is my favorite adventure, because to me that's so true, because I'm so passionate about so many things. And yes, I do shine brighter in other things, but I am very passionate. So how do you help someone find that passion?
Excellent question. I think a lot of it has to do with what you're doing and what we're doing right now is exploration, right? And giving ourselves permission to explore. So a lot of it has to do with exposure. And a lot of it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you have the 5-year-old that's being told, starting from kindergarten, you're really good at math. You might be a great accountant one day. Or, my goodness, you have such a strong personality, you really love to argue, you're going to make a great lawyer one day. So we only know a certain number of careers just from the world that we grow up in, that which we're exposed to, the careers that our parents have, the careers that are introduced to us through our environment, through school. We've never even considered the possibility of being a marine archaeologist or a chocolate sommelier or a thing that doesn't even have a name yet. So providing experiences that allow people to explore things that we might not even think we're passionate about. We might not think as being within our arena of a strength or a comfort zone. So that begins when we're born, right? Exposure, but within schools, the curriculum is starting in kindergarten. And then for the individual program, the truth is we're really constantly reinventing who we are. So look at your path and all the paths of your guests who have come in before you, this non-linear experience that brings us through all these different playgrounds of life, right? That we get to kind of branch out and try on different masks and try on different hats. We are constantly evolving creatures who are always reinventing ourselves, and how exciting that can be, that we're never too young or too old to just explore.
I love the way you say that we're constantly evolving creatures, because I always say that. I'm my hand.
We're gonna be be besties after
I have no idea. I'm like, wow. She's like, she looked in the book of time. She's taking up phrases now. But it's true. It is true. And you know what I tell my children? And it was a game that I used to play. You know how people used to play I Spy with my eye? Yes. I didn't play that game. I used to play. I played it with them, but then I turned it around a bit. I played Let's Find the Job. And I used to point at things and I would say, "This, you see that sign there? It's a job. You see the stone there? That's a job." "What do you mean, Mom?" "Well, someone had to make that stone. That stone didn't just happen. So that's a job." "Whoa, they made that?" And I was like, "Yes." And so I would tell my children about all the different jobs by pointing while we were driving. That's a job. That's a job.
Yeah.
And it made them see that there were different things out there. And I think that as parents, and you're a parent,
I
correct?
am. I have two beautiful girls. Yeah.
So, but as parents, it's our job to show our children that, you know what, you're only limited to, what you allow yourself to be limited to,
constraints and confines of our own mind,
exactly.
Right? The limitations we set for ourselves.
So, I find that it's amazing that you have this Inventing Self program. And do you have anything where people can actually, get a little taste of it?
Yes.
Okay.
You go to our website. Well, so we'll do the plug now, and then we won't do it later. Is that what we're doing?
We can plug all the way.
We'll plug it the whole day.
Yes.
So you go to our website, which is inventingself.org, and you send us a shout out and ask us to come and give you a 1-hour introduction of what is Inventing Self and what does it look like. So our training or experiences and workshops are offered for any age level, and they're all hands-on. So it starts with understanding who we are, right? Like what we're talking about. A lot of the guests were talking about connecting to themselves and really connecting to our intuition. I was listening to Brick talking about the fact that he would be surrounded with so many different voices going in one direction, but he would listen to his own voice. And no matter how many forces he had pulling him in an opposite direction, he would know to stand firm with what felt right in his soul. That's intuition. And for some people, somehow we've lost permission to follow our intuition. So it begins there, right? But after we have an understanding of who we are, we've got this firm level of confidence in ourselves, what next, right? So it's exploring what's out there in the universe, like you were doing with your kids, the exposure to how did this come to be and what makes you interested? What do you want to learn more about? And then from there, really building a foundation for kindness and inspiration, communication skills, the ability to listen not just to other people, but to listen to ourselves. And then taking a role of leadership. And everybody has a leader within them in some capacity that resonates, and learning what that is. And then taking all of those tools that we've acquired and turning them from rhetoric into reality. You have it. Now what do you want to do? Where are we going to go?
Wow, I want to take your course.
I want you to take my course. That's perfect.
So are you having any meetups coming up? You having any programs, or are you looking to do that?
So far we're just getting started. So right now we're doing individual work with corporations where we provide staff training for them.
Oh, that's great.
And with school districts, we offer workshops through BOCES, and then we also offer to push in and provide professional development for administrators, mental health professionals, teachers K through 12, and also provide workshops for parents, for community members, for students directly. And then the individuals can work with a virtual life coaching program, and all of that can be accessed through our website, which is also going to be going under construction soon, but does have contact information. So basically the best way to reach out to us is just send us an email with saying hello. It all begins with a conversation. Part of what's really interesting about getting things started is to provide, we're so conditioned to provide structure, and yet to allow people to connect with their intuition, for things to be genuine, you need to be willing to unplan. You need to be willing to not have structure, to really, we throw out words like hand tailoring things, but in order for hand tailoring to really exist, it needs to begin with a dialogue of what the needs are before we plug in the offering. So a lot of our partnerships begin with just that, a conversation.
And a conversation is necessary to do anything anyway. So I was wondering if you can just use me as your guinea pig. Just for, can we do a quick guinea pig session?
Let's do it. What are we doing? Okay.
So
it's happening.
I come to you and I'm like, help me. I need passion. I need passion. I need it. I want to find it.
Find it. Okay.
Help me find my passion.
So yeah. Okay. So this is really fun, and I'll give you all at home a little fun thing to do. Make a list of 10 things that you have never done before in your life.
Oh. That
you would never consider doing. So we could talk about the things that are way outside of your comfort zone, which is going to be very different depending upon who you are, right? Because some people are like, skydiving, is it Saturday? Because that's what I do every weekend. But so whether it's taking a cooking class or dining by yourself, which can be a really interesting experience.
I did that for the first time a few months ago.
How was it?
I was scared at first. Is that weird?
No, I was
scared too.
I did it because I'm telling other people to do it, and I felt very hypocritical that I had never done it. So I was like, okay, I've got to do this. And it was a little intimidating.
It was.
And I made myself a promise. This was like the rule that I made. I wasn't going to touch my phone. That I was going to sit and dine by myself without my phone. So it just made me like the creepy lady that was just kind of like looking around uncomfortably. But it was a good experience.
The waitress kept coming up to me.
Are you waiting for someone?
Are you okay?
Can I get you anything?
And I'm like, do I have, in my head, I'm like, do I have the look that I am not okay?
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm doing this by choice. So yeah, so things like that. So it could be taking a class, go on Groupon, see what's out there, learn how to play a musical instrument, go to the movies, do something that you would never typically do. It might be going to the gym if you're somebody who's intimidated by fitness. It might be, I don't know, what can we think of that was like, you would never, because I can only think of the things that I would never do.
So I'm an odd bird.
Okay.
Let's
hear it. Like birdology. Like let's go. No,
like I am odd.
Okay.
Well, first off, I'll tell you what I've done in the past. We'll say 7 years. So in the past 7 years, I said, one day I wanted to become a boxer. So I did, and I fought in the Long Island Fight for Charity. I was a lot more fit than I am today. But
never to get on your bad side.
Yes.
Okay.
So and I got my little card as an official boxer, and I actually did training and everything. So and I got out of my comfort zone, but I did it.
It's all about that. It's all about getting. So I also, to your point, it's all about getting out of the comfort zone, and that takes a lot of courage, right? So I got scuba certified because I am absolutely petrified of being under the water.
I never thought of doing that.
I had a full panic attack during the scuba certification, but I proved to myself that I was capable of doing it, and it was an amazing. So it's not about not having fear. It's about feeling the fear and going anyway, and being comfortable being uncomfortable. Right, so scuba certification, boxing classes, there's all different types of things that you look at your local library, go through the programs, just show up for one of the programs that you find least familiar. You'll find yourself whittling wood or decorating some kind of Ukrainian egg or something bizarre. But I think that's where it really begins, just exposure, because we'll be surprised sometimes that we had these different sides of ourselves that we just never had the opportunity to nourish, to nurture. And once they are exposed to new things, we find ourselves reinventing who we are all the time, perpetually.
It is amazing because all I'm thinking about right now is that so every single day I go to work and I literally drive along the strip of the airport that's near me. And it's only a faster way. That's why everybody. I'm like, why are you guys all in traffic? This is like nobody's here. So I go through the strip of the airport, and every time I pass this little teeny airport where they teach people to fly, and I keep saying to myself, I want to learn how to fly. So right now I'm like, I am going to take lessons. I will learn how to fly. I don't know if I could do a live feed while I'm flying, but I might.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe.
maybe.
That'll be
I might
our
just
next
have it on.
show.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. Where we will be.
Where I'm up 10,000
Yeah.
feet. No,
It's incredible.
So yeah.
And you find yourself, listen, you might not become a pilot, but through just the exposure of these fun things, I'm not saying you're going to find your new career calling, but you'll learn a lot about who you are and what makes you tick and what brings you joy, and break down some of those barriers that hold us back of fear and being uncomfortable.
So we're going to wrap things up. So if you have something to say to the audience, now is your time. So go for it.
Here's what I would say. Our time here is limited, as we all know, and it's wonderful to take pause and say, so tell me, what is it you wish to do with your experience of being alive? And to really take advantage, to use the words of Thoreau, go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have imagined. That would be my final message. It's not really about going to my website. Do that for yourself. Take pause to think about how the dots have connected in your life up until this moment and how you'd like to write your future of where you want to go next.
That is awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Julia,
so much
for being
for
on
having
the
me.
show.
This was
I
wonderful.
really appreciate
So
you
exciting.
coming. So, and thank you guys all for tuning in this evening. We had amazing people, and I ask that you please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like it, and share it. And tune in next week for Her Talk with Tai Vicari, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to watch WLINY and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Have a good night, and God bless.